Hello and welcome back to the 17th episode of Greek Speaks. I'm sorry for that big jump between the Aries and the Aphrodite video. Things have been a little weird lately. If you can't tell, I'm home. I had to move back home because of COVID-19, and I'm recording in my room now, so just based on the space of that, I'll see how the audio is, maybe switch it up a little bit, see what I can do. So this week, speaking of the plague, we are talking about Asclepius. I know last week I said that I would start talking about the heroes, but I thought it was fitting to talk about the healing god in the middle of a plague. Please let this end. So, Asclepius is the god of healing. He is the son of Apollo and a mortal named Coronis. Wow, that's more apt than I thought it would be. So Coronis is the lover of Apollo, and she sleeps with another mortal, and Apollo is told this by a white crow, and he gets really mad, and so he kills Coronis, saves Asclepius, and turns the crow black, and that's the explanation on why crows are black. Don't know why we needed a myth for that, but okay. So Apollo gives little baby Asclepius to the centaur Chiron. He becomes really well versed in the art of healing and all that. He has 10 kids with his wife, Epone, who is the just personification of like rest and care after that's needed for healing. He has 10 kids, but his most well-known is probably Hygienia, who's sort of alongside him and is very connected to the art of healing and is where we get the word hygiene from. So his symbols are the staff of Asclepius, which is a rod with a snake around it. If you see on the side of hospitals 2 snakes, that is the caduceus, which is a symbol of Hermes, which my sister is also a huge classics nerd, who makes her very upset because she's a nurse, and it also annoys me because I'm a huge classics nerd. So snakes were a sign of healing because of the way that they could shed their skin. So they're a form of healing and rebirth. So if you look a lot at especially Western culture, I haven't totally looked into Eastern culture or Mesoamerican, a lot of times they will be associated with snakes. And Apollo, who's also a healing god, is also associated with snakes. So he becomes a god in life. The way this happens is, since he's this like gifted healer, somebody brings the dead guy to him and is like, hey, can you heal him? And he's able to bring him back to life. And Hades is not too happy about this, and Hades goes to Zeus, and Zeus kills Asclepius, as one does, and Apollo gets really mad, and he kills the Cyclopses of Zeus, who make the lightning bolts, and in the midst of all this, Asclepius gets promoted to a minor god. I mentioned this in the Aphrodite and Dionysus video, but in the 4th century, a lot of philosophers are looking at the Olympians and saying, hey, everyone is a massive idiot and jerk. Why is this the divine? And so there's a big shift in the 4th century about shifting what the divine is. So a lot of more human-focused gods get all the attention. That includes Asclepius for healing, and Aphrodite for love, and Dionysus for partying, among other things. So a lot of the other Olympians, like Ares and all them, become more self-sufficient. And because of this emphasis on different, more human-focused gods, the more cults form, and Asclepius, through that, really jumps in popularity. His biggest temple is one in Epidaurus, which is just across the water in the Peloponnese from Athens. So there's a cult there, and his temple is a healing center. So there's a temple, it acts like a temple normally would, sacrifices, all that stuff. And then there's something called the Thamele, which is a normal circular temple, but the idea is you go underground, and it's like a maze, and I'll put pictures of this. And it's underground, it's in a maze kind of formation, and through that, the person in it gets very disoriented, and this idea of disorienting lets you interact with the god, which is the same idea in Dionysus and a lot of other people. So again, he's associated with snakes, there's snakes in there, or displayed in there, and Asclepius visits people in their sleep to heal them. He either tells them, hey, do XYZ to get healed, or he just does it, or he's in the form of a snake and says the same thing. So they need a sleeping area, and they build one. So the sleeping area at the temple is called the Abaton, and it's just a sleeping area, and then again, somebody would be visited by Asclepius and know how to get healed. We have discovered ceramic body parts. So people would leave dedications. So let's say they got a cut on the arm, infection, whatever, in their arm. They would leave a depiction of their arm as a sacrifice, which is kind of similar to I don't know if I talked about this in the Artemis video, but once young girls exited the young girl, not married, little kid portion of life, they would leave their toys at the sanctuary to Artemis as a sacrifice. And a lot of other gods do this. Ares and other gods and Zeus have dedications from war, and so does Athena. So there's definitely this idea of things that are associated with that god get sacrificed to them or get dedicated to them. There was also a theater and an athletic competition there. That's pretty normal. And this cult makes its way to Athens in the 420s and gets really established there. Which is great because, there was a plague, 20 years later. Which one of the, I think it's Pericles, he is oh, the plague's not that big a deal, whatever. Or he says something about the plague and then dies from it. Yeah, so history tends to repeat itself. So that is Asclepius. Hopefully, if I give the god of healing a little attention, we can finally come out of quarantine. Who knows? But hopefully, this made your quarantine a little bit better. As always, stay inside, wash hands, everything else everybody's saying right now. As always, we have the Instagram at GreekSpeaks. If you want me to look at a specific myth, put it down in the comments. And have a great week.